I've joined the Rawvolution at Naturaw because I know that not all raw food is created equal. I'm passionate about feeding dogs as nature intended. After all, you are what you eat, and so is your dog. At Naturaw, there are no compromises, no confusion, just real raw food made with integrity and a conscience, offering 100% transparency, supporting British farmers, and only using the highest welfare assured ingredients is so important. They're a certified B Corp and reduce their carbon footprint by utilizing solar power and planting trees. They only use completely plastic-free packaging that's home compostable. Prudence and Mr. Binks are simply loving their nutrient-dense and balanced recipes. So try Naturaw today. Just go to naturaw.co.uk and grab 20% off your first purchase with my code AnnaWebb20. Join the Rawvolution and feed exceptional raw food. Hello, I'm Anna Webb. Welcome to this week's episode of A Dog's Life. We're talking to Cheryl Quinn, who is the team captain for the Flyball Champions at Crufts this year. They're called Junkyard Dogs. And this episode is powered by Antonon. Cheryl Quinn, welcome back to A Dog's Life.
Thank you.
Well, this time it's a kind of a celebratory episode, really, to really pump up and let as many people know as possible that Junkyard Dogs won the championship title of Flyball at this year's Crufts. Am I right?
We did, yeah. Very unexpected and surprised, but yes, we were crowned Crufts Flyball Champions 2026.
I know it's a bit of a hackneyed question, this, how do you feel about this?
Oh, God. I think it took a while to set in and realise what we'd achieved. Very emotional and somewhat overwhelmed on the actual competition date. But now just immensely proud of the entire team and the dogs and everybody, really. Immensely proud.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Being team captain, I guess, as well, comes that extra layer of responsibility, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it was very, very nerve-wracking as team captain because every dog change, every little tweak that we made, had it gone wrong and we hadn't progressed, that is on me. That's on my shoulders, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I must have got it right for once.
I bet you get it right more than once. But, you just saying all of that, it reminds me of a big football match. Do you know what I mean? Where it is down to the team captain to take someone off the pitch and put on a substitute and, all of that, huge pressure, really. I know because Naturaw were in the actual arena at the time.
They were.
So I know how packed it was. It was rammed. That also must add to the pressure.
Yes, it was very busy. Friday was busy. Saturday, I think the arena was full. And it's just the crowd, the noise, the lights, the heat. It's really warm, really, really warm in that arena. Handlers and dogs did exceptionally well.
Amazing. Tell me, how did you get into Flyball?
I started Flyball maybe 13, 14 years ago now with my very first border collie, who was a rescue, who just needed a job. Oh my days, she just needed a job to do. You could walk for miles and that dog wouldn't tire out. And that's how I initially found Flyball, just a local club that trained at a park near us. And found a job, fell in love, and here I am, still doing it.
You see, I love that because, you had what sounds like a bit of not a difficult dog, but a dog that, yeah, in a way is difficult. You've got social media at the moment painting all these like perfect pictures of pooches and puppuccinos, and
Yeah.
they're in their private members clubs and all of that, eating muffins. Um, and then, you have dogs that would actually totally hate doing anything like that and think that a puppuccino is for, wimps and, get me out there. I want to be in a forest. I want to be jumping over logs.
Oh,
I want,
absolutely.
sniffing in the dirt. I want to get on a trail of a squirrel and
Yeah.
probably not catch them, but I'm going to give them a bit of a run for their money. And they're really tuned more instinctually. But you see, arguably, all dogs have that. Do you agree, Cheryl?
Absolutely. I think all dogs need an outlet, a physical outlet, whether that be whether that just be walking, off lead walking, letting them sniff, but also like teaching them like little tricks, even if it's obedience or trick work. Yeah, I just think every dog needs an outlet.
Yeah, I so agree. I live with a very hyperactive miniature bull terrier. I mean, even at 11, she's years. It's great, and it is so important to focus dogs as well. That's something else. And you say there about tricks. I mean, I love trick training, but it's not obedience, and it's not, perhaps helping to manage undesirable behaviors, but it is creating focus and fun.
Yeah.
And I think fun is this word that seems to have gone a bit from the world of dogs. And really, it's a bit like girls just want to have fun. That's what that's all they want. They don't want stress. They don't have to worry about the mortgage. All they want is to have fun, But are we always giving them fun, Cheryl?
I don't, probably not, to be fair. Probably not. I think there's a lot of people who, especially in COVID, thought, you know what, it's a good idea to get a dog. And they're not easy, are they? They're expensive. They need a lot of time and they need effort. And I think some people struggle with that. I think some people got a dog in COVID and then went back to work and realised that they can't leave their dog for 8 hours in a crate. And I think that's very sad. Like, I have a lot of dogs, but I manage it around my work and my husband's work. So we're never out the house for longer than necessary. And we do trick work, walking, running, biking, conditioning work. But we make it fun. It's got to be fun.
Yeah,
both for us and the dogs.
Yeah, no, that's it. You see, it's a mutual reciprocation. I was showing someone the other day that simply doing find a treat, on your walk casually, suddenly you just find a treat and your dog's like, oh, brilliant, great, we're going to play this game. And it might look a bit simple, but all you do is throw a treat into a little green area or whatever, or amongst some leaves or whatever, and then the dog's got to sniff it out. But that to a dog is the bee's knees.
Yeah, absolutely. Just something different. And you see people, don't you, walking the dogs and they're walking at speed and the dog wants to stop and sniff and they yank the lead because they're in a rush and everything's got to be done on time because we've got to get to work. And I just think, just let your dog sniff. Yeah,
exactly.
Enjoy the time. They're not here forever. They're not here for a very long time, and just enjoy the time that you've got with them.
That's the big sobering thought. They don't live long enough. I agree at the moment, there's a lot of pressures on people, cost of living, and I do understand that time thing, I mean, this morning we had a shorter walk already because we're recording this at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. So it was all right, we've got to get back now. And Prudence is looking at me going, what? Hang on, do you know what I mean? And it's like, no, come on, and there is a bit of that, and you've got to manage everything and balance. That's the important thing, and you can do it, but it is a massive commitment.
Yeah, agree, fully agree.
So with your dogs, obviously keeping them in peak condition is like a given. What do you recommend feeding wise for your dogs?
I will feed nothing now but a raw balanced diet, and my go-to and probably the only brand of food that I will now feed is Nature Raw.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, everyone knows listening that I'm also a massive fan because, not all raw food is the same. And it's, I've been feeding raw a very long time and I absolutely wouldn't do it any other way. And I've seen the market grow, because there is a massive demand for it now. But, there's so many other, I don't even know all the brands. I mean, once upon a time, I knew everyone at the sort of 5 firms that set up, the sector way back and knew all the people and all the rest of it. Now, honestly, there's brands I've absolutely never heard of, which in a way is a good thing, it's more choice. But on the other side, there is this, concern that it has to be what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we feed Nature Raw is, we're in partnership with them anyway, but like I've been to the factory, I've seen how it's all made, how it's packaged, I've met all the staff, I've met the team. It's just
I'm
incredible.
so jealous. I'm
so jealous.
No, I've got an invitation, so I am. No. Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I'll probably have to take Mr. Binks with me. I might have to take them both, but that's the other thing. Going away when you've got dogs is huge because, I'm not the sort that, oh gosh, I couldn't just kind of find a complete stranger, on the internet, through a site designed for these purposes. But I can't do that. I mean, because I've heard some terrible stories. A friend's dog actually was with someone and managed to eat a sock, and fortunately it was a very big vet bill, but the dog lived. Do you know what I mean? But it could not have lived with a very big vet bill as well. So you got a double edged sword, and that something like that just shouldn't happen. But it does. So for me, being a bit on the anxiety side of life, it's very, very difficult. I'd rather take them with me. But then that leaves my cat, you see.
Oh gosh.
I know. I do have a cat amongst the pigeons, shall we say, as well. Yeah, he's another story, but he also eats Nature Raw as well, actually. It's such good food because I really feel confident in the quality, and you can tell from the texture of the meat. We could get really nitty-gritty into this, and it's just the way it almost just falls off the spoon that that this is fresh meat.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh meat, nutrient dense, packed with everything that my dogs need and thrive on to keep them in tip-top condition. And I can't see us switching to anything else. Some of the other foods out there have got their bulks out with like cheap fillers, or the bone content is too high, and then that reflects in their poo.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it does have to be at a right balance. That's why, as well, I love the forage range because it has got the botanicals in there, but at the right percentage for the bulk.
Yeah, we like the forage range, especially for my competition dogs. We like forage, especially on race days.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are what you eat, and so is your dog. So, I mean, and I've got to say, because, I was watching all the clips and everything on Instagram, and the team looks, I mean, all the dogs that were competing, in fairness, look good, but so exciting. I mean, watching you, I mean, I was on the seat, I was on the, well, when I heard you'd won, I was on a train coming back from Crufts, and I was just glued to my phone, and there it popped up. So I think I was one of the first people to comment. It was just such a great achievement.
Hey, Anna.
Hey, Mike.
So we've just finished Billy's first 60 days of Antinol, and wow, what a difference.
Really? Oh my gosh, what have you noticed?
Well, he's shinier. He's much more energetic. Not that he wasn't beforehand, but you can see the difference. But remember, I told you he used to have that little limp in his back left paw that he'd hurt himself when he was a pup.
Yes,
he doesn't seem to do that much anymore.
What, the hop, skip, and the jump?
Yeah. So it's like his joints are a bit better. And we actually had friends around this weekend who'd noticed that there was something good about Billy. And I was telling them about Antinol, and they said, "Oh, what's in it?" I said, "Well, green lip muscle." And they said, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Anna," as I always do. So,
well,
for next time, what should I say? What's so great about green lip mussel?
Well, green lip mussel, it comes from New Zealand. It's the only place that green lip mussels live. And what's great about the green lip mussel is that it is what's known as a broad spectrum source of omega-3. And the reason dogs need to take omega-3 is that their bodies don't make it themselves. So unless they're getting it through, their diet, which can be omega-6 heavy. And it's very important to have a balance between omega-6 and omega-3. So it's normally through supplements that omega-3 is given. And green lip mussel is unique in its having everything from EPA, DHA, and ETA. So all the main omega-3s.
And how about Binks and Prudence? They must be much better as well.
Yeah, well, they've been on it for over a year, and they've been on green lip mussel forever since I've had them. So Prue's 10 now. So she's had green lip mussel since the first day I brought her home, to be honest, but not Antinol. And I only wish I'd discovered Antinol earlier. I really honestly mean that, because it's an oil rather than a powder. So its bioavailability, that means, its effectivity to get absorbed quickly and efficiently by the body is greater.
So people listening now and they want to discover Antinol for themselves, where do they go?
Well, all you have to do is go to Antinol, ANTINOL.co.uk, and then type in Anna Webb and get your special discount. But yeah, going back to Naturally Raw, I say really jealous you've been up to their HQ. And I think I can't wait to see, all the food in production, because I know it's made in very small batches, and you can be sure that the food's been made in the most hygienic conditions, and we're thoughtful people behind the process. That's the other big bit.
Yeah, the whole team are just amazing. So I'm quite lucky in that I literally live 20 minutes away from their headquarters. Which was another reason. It's like a Yorkshire-based partnership. But yeah, very lucky indeed to work with them.
Yeah, no, 100%. So you are local, so I love all of that, because it is that whole local aspect. But something I'd love to know, how did you get to the name Junkyard Dogs?
All right, okay, so I mentioned earlier that we got into flyball because of my first border collie who needed a job to do, and Junkyard Dogs was really named after her. So I rescued her from a squalid drugs den, living in not very nice conditions, when I think she was about 14 to 16 weeks old when I rescued her. And because of the conditions that we found her in, we always used to call her our little junkyard dog. So that's how we came up with the name when we set our own team up. Sadly, she's no longer with us. So, her memory will always live on through Junkyard Dogs.
Oh, that's amazing. What was her name, Cheryl?
Millie.
I know, this is it. You have one, I think, you love all of your dogs, but there is one dog that, they call it now, your heart dog, your soul dog. Yeah. I mean, do you agree on that?
Yeah, she was absolutely my soul dog. And I owe her all of my stuff about flyball, the journey that we've been on, the training. I owe it all to her, because had it not been for her, I probably wouldn't have found flyball. So I owe her everything and she owes me nothing, which is quite often the case.
Totally. I mean, I think they do. They always give us more, than we can give them, but then maybe they think that we do give them everything. I think they know. I do think they know. I know, because I feel exactly the same about Molly, my first miniature bull terrier. She was so knowing. And it was then I read the work by Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, and everything just clicked into place. He is my favorite scientist. At this point, Mike, my producer's going, how have you got Dr. Rupert Sheldrake mentioned in a podcast about flyball? But, I can segue. Yeah, and he's all about, this knowingness and telepathy and stuff. It's so interesting. Episode 1, everybody, of A Dog's Life. And it does put so much into context, that you have that feeling with certain dogs that they actually really, really know exactly what you're thinking. And it's almost like vice versa. But you're thinking, how is it that I know what you're thinking? Does that make sense, Cheryl?
Yeah, no, it does. Perfect.
Yeah. Because, with flyball as well, what I love about it is 1 minute you're just going for the speed and the precision over those jumps. But then at that sort of high energy level, the dogs then have to go, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I've got to push this. What would you call it? What they push to then release the ball that they have to keep it in their mouths. And
yeah, they go on the box. It's the box that releases the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's brilliant, but from a dog training perspective, I mean, I see that as being, I understand you've got to train it all separately and incrementally, but in a high pressure environment, that, I mean, it's hats off, you know what I mean? Because you're going so fast, so focusing on the speed to then get that control motion to push the box, to release the ball, to go into your dog's mouth, to then keep the dog holding the ball as they power back. They're not tempted to do a quick pant and open their mouth and the ball fall out, although someone did do that, didn't they, this year? And that's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, so if they spit the ball before they cross through the line, that is a penalty. Teaching a dog to hold a ball, though, that is not easy. That is not easy, really, unless you've got a ball obsessed dog. But then a ball obsessed dog, you tend to lose the speed and the power. So yeah, the little border collie of mine that was running, she used to be renowned for spitting. She'd take the ball out of the box, get over the first jump, and then just turn and spit the ball out. And I'm sure she did it on purpose, but it's taken a long time to teach her to hold on until I give her the command and to release the ball.
It is actually a really hard one, because I've always tried to train Prudence, my bully, that I have now, to hold, to have the hold cue, and she's a devil. She's like, no, I can hold it for an hour, as you know, but I just am not going to do this on your terms.
Yeah,
and it is a tricky one.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's all on their terms.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of dog training in a way, isn't it? Is to get everything your dog does to do, having fun on your terms rather than theirs.
Yeah.
So that then, you can turn their whole world into a game.
Yeah. And that's all it is to them. That's all flyball is to them. It's just one big game. It's one big game of fetch.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And, it's also, I would say, look, if we're all now pet parents, then it's our duty of care to, just as you would maybe with your toddler, take them to, I don't know, dance class or painting class or whatever, football or, so on. You have your duty of care really to do these things with your dog, to have outings, to have experiences, to make memories. And that's why, I think this year's Crufts was great to highlight the canine sports. I do feel they really highlighted that this year a lot. And I think it's really inspiring and educational for owners globally. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, Crufts is it's the biggest canine show in the world. It's the biggest international stage for us to showcase the flyball, the agility, the heel work to music, all the different things that you can do with your dog. The obedience is in there. The police dogs were there, which is also amazing to watch. And there's so many things that you can do with your dog to build that relationship and just have fun, other than clipping a lead on and going for a walk. And
I mean, it just builds, that relationship. A long time ago, I was really into canine freestyle. And, and I did compete at All About Dogs once. There were 30 entered into our class, the beginners. And I was with a bull terrier. And
that's amazing.
Well, it's not really. We were, well, guess what? There we came 8th. Do you know what? I was pretty proud of that, because all the other dogs were, border collies. And, and I do think, and it's good, there is change afoot on that. I think, these sports have been dominated by border collies. And I know there's now classes for anything but a border collie and so on. So it's opening up a bit. But, the darn thing is, for us bull terrier people, it's like, darn, the border collie's always going to beat us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm very biased, but I do like a border collie. But I think all of my dogs have got, all of mine have got, they're either full border collie or they're border collie cross.
And you're going to get the focus. They are brilliant. They really want to work. Which is great. And when you've got a professional team on the go, and you're the team captain, you do need dogs that are going to reliably perform and not accidentally turn into the comic act. That might get you some social media coverage, but it's going to lose you the title.
We've had that before. We have had that before. I think last year at Crufts, one of our little border collie cross whippets decided that she'd forgot where her own lane was and wanted to go to the other lane. But yeah, we got there in the end.
Yeah,
but, it just shows they're not robots. They're not robots.
That's a very important thing to say. Of course, they're not robots. But it's also, I was thinking, the sky is the limit with your dog, and to think about pushing boundaries, and yeah, it's always good. But on another note, Cheryl, as well, what about, supplements for junkyard dogs? Because the sport is a fast-paced one, and whilst dogs can do all of that fast pace, you can pull a muscle, whatever, twist a joint. I've done that myself. So you have to keep them, and there's other things that you can offer them.
So most of mine are on some kind of joint supplement, and our favourite at the moment is Antinol, which I think is quite newish to the market. They were a big sponsor of Crufts this year, but we have tried other well-known brands. But Antinol, for me, has certainly made a difference to one of my older dogs. She's 9, still competing, but we just noticed that she'd started chewing at the equivalent to her wrists, and the fur had gone slightly discoloured. So we were a bit worried about potential arthritis, or is she getting some pain? So we switched her onto Antinol, and the difference in that dog is just incredible.
Wow, that's good to hear. Gosh, yeah, because you've got, understanding dogs' life stages, just as our own, is a very big part of being, a good dog owner, isn't it, Cheryl? So they do age, as we know, and it's awful, but there's lots that can be done, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So all my dogs see a canine massage person every month. So they get a treatment once a month, even if there's nothing wrong with them, they just get a nice massage. And then we've just started with a canine osteopath. And again, just regular check-ins to make sure everything is aligned where it should be, the muscles are working as they should be, and just keep them in tip-top condition.
Gosh, they're so lucky. Gosh, can I come and live with you?
I don't do that for myself, just my dogs. Maybe I should book myself in for a monthly massage.
Oh, that's so funny. No, it is. It's really important to give back, and I love all of that. It must be tough being a judge, because do you get to sort of see other teams? You're obviously judging not Junkyard Dogs when you're a judge, or are you? No, you can't be. That wouldn't work, would it? Because you'd be biased to Junkyard Dogs.
So normally when I judge everybody else other than my own team. But when I obviously judged Crufts last year, and Junkyard Dogs did race at Crufts, so I did have to judge my own team, and I had to hand over captaincy last year to somebody else, which was very difficult. However, Tom, who took over captaincy, did a fab job. But yeah, judging your own team, it's awful. I never suggest anybody ever do it.
Gosh, I know. Golly, because judging is pressure no matter what. Even if it's just a companion dog show, they're so hotly contested now, So, judging comes, with a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah, I like it though. I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing, because at a normal competition, you get we have what's called Little League, which is like your puppies in training. So sometimes you get to see dogs progress through their flyball journey. As a judge, you get to see all the different teams, different training techniques as well. So you can pick up hints and tips as you go along. And I just try to make my judging fun. I'm not a serious, black and white judge. I like to have fun, and you'll have seen videos of Crufts last year where I put hats on. I tend to judge a lot of juniors. our junior handlers, and I just try to be fun.
Yeah, I think it's so important because you don't want to put anyone off in the sport. If someone's a junior, a newbie to the whole thing, they don't want to think, oh gosh, this competition level is just too grown up for me. I just want to have some fun with my dog.
Exactly. So keep it fun, keep it light, and then it can be quite a pressurized situation when you're in the ring, especially if you've got one of the fastest teams in the UK. And I just think, well, it doesn't need to be pressure. Just it's a sport. It's a hobby. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And, we all know that cortisol transfers to our dogs,
Yes.
So, you don't want the last thing you need is for the dogs not to enjoy it, because then it's go home, isn't it? Really?
It is. Yeah. And it just makes for a bad competition. If everybody's stressed and the dog's not performing well because you're stressed, then you're never going to do well. You're never going to perform at a high level. So we all just try and relax. And sometimes I maybe need to take my own advice.
That's so funny. No, I know. Well, oh gosh, it is competitive. And the thing is, as I say, even a companion dog show that I judge quite often, honestly, it tears me apart having to make the decision, because all of them could take the first prize in their right. And it's about, seeing, people with their dogs and their bond and looking at the whole thing. And then some dogs have a really heart-wrenching backstory, and absolutely so difficult. But you're right, it's to rise above it. I can't actually say that either. I mean, the last time I showed Prudence at Crufts, unfortunately, it was a day of complete massive realization, and I swore I would never show her ever again, and I haven't. I mean, it was such a shame, but nepotism prevailed that day, is all I'm going to say. And it wasn't fair. I know that sounds like I'm being a total sore loser, which I can be. It was a shame, really. Competing is really hard.
It is. It's hard competing. It's harder being a team captain because all the decisions are on you. But I've got a fabulous team around me. I love each and every one of them. They're all backing me. They're all supporting me. And I think had I made a different decision at Crufts and we maybe would have got knocked out, I don't think they'd have blamed me. Although you might have to ask them.
Well, you obviously got it right, and I think that's your obviously understanding of all of the team players, both the humans and the dogs. But the dogs really, I think, would be slightly above the human choice for you at that moment, because you've got to look at the dogs in that now. Which dog maybe to you is showing slight signs of stress, because all dogs reflect it slightly differently. I mean, would things like that be going through your mind? Maybe thinking, no, I know the lurcher's got the speed, but looking sideways a lot. There's a bit of a heavier pant going on, doing a bit of blinking. Maybe I should actually go for, this one instead, to go in now, just a slightly calmer disposition. Maybe the focus is there a bit more in that dog at that moment. Would you be thinking things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, our first race on Saturday, I raced, my little border collie was in as the breed dog, and then the 3 big lurchers who were giving the speed. But she can be very sensitive. And after she'd done her races, it was very obvious that she was very aware of the arena, the noise. And actually, I didn't race her that much after that. I let the other dogs, because she wasn't wholly comfortable. And I think putting her back into that environment would not have gone well, or as well as we did. But that was just me being completely selfless and taking my dog out to give the team the best option that we had, or the best opportunity that we had.
I think that's brilliant to have seen that, though. And also through that, in a way, your dog has actually expanded more, because you took her arguably to her limit that day for whatever reason. And then she's had time to end the day on success rather than anything else.
Yep, absolutely. And the photographs that we got from Crufts show her that she was very happy on that day.
Yeah.
She was smiling down the ring in her photographs. So, yeah.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. Well, Cheryl, so what's next? I mean, all of this, now what's next? Now it's all sunk in.
What's next is we carry on competing, and we will be representing Team GB at the World Cup in May.
Oh my gosh, there's no rest for the wicked.
No rest for the wicked. So we're back to training, back to competing, and we'll see where we'll see where we get in the world, on the world stage.
Where's that happening physically? Is it in England?
Yeah, it's in England this year. So it's in the UK. It's across at Norfolk.
Oh, wow. Well, Norfolk's lovely. Oh, is it at the big showground?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I know that. I've been there a few times. It's actually it's not too difficult to get to, actually.
No, so yeah, that's where we'll be in May. And then we have the UK Flyball League Championships in July.
Gosh, and where's that happening?
That is in Anglesey this year.
Oh, wow. I love Anglesey, but that's actually really hard to get to.
Yeah, it's not. It will be hard to get to if the fuel situation doesn't resolve itself. But
oh, yes. No, exactly. It's not really, I mean, unless you live, near to Anglesey.
I know. Well, one of our members lives on Anglesey. Would you believe?
Well, it's handy. Might actually, cut the fuel price down a bit if you average it out between everyone. Oh, I know. Let's not go there. We are living in a completely upside down world. I think one of our only constants at the moment is the love of a dog.
Absolutely.
Oh, Cheryl, thank you so much for joining, and all the best for the next competitions coming up. Can't wait to catch up on them, really.
No, well, I will keep you informed, and I'll see how we get on.
Thanks, Cheryl. That's our show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find out more about Junkyard Dogs and Cheryl Quinn, all the links are in the show notes. Thanks again to Mike, my producer, for all the music and production as ever. And if you want to find out more about Antinol, go on their website, and at checkout you can use my discount code, which is just Anna Webb. Also, with NatuRaw, I really urge anyone thinking about switching to a raw food diet to check out their website and look at their exceptional range of single proteins, complete balanced formulas, and their new Real Simple range. And guess what? You can use my discount code AnnaWebb20 to get 20% off your first order. Go on. The other thing is subscribe. It's free. That way you'll never miss a show. Bye for now.